Okay, welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is NRL from the Sidelines. And firstly, gentlemen, we probably have to apologise that this show is a day later than it normally is. We had a few, let's call them production issues.
Yes.
And
do you ever wonder out there though?
Out there in viewerland.
Out there in viewerland, do people know which one's Tom, which one's Brian, and which one's Steve?
Oh, you'd hope so.
Do they care?
Okay. True. Sorry out there. If you don't care, you don't care.
We're going to get those, celebrity heads.
Celebrity heads.
Okay, and we'll put our names on.
We'll mix them around each week. No one will know. Sorry.
Right, so, gentlemen, how are we?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. Still in the winner's circle. Everything's good.
Yeah, I know.
You better be looking over your shoulder. I'm telling you.
I don't need to worry about you just yet, but you're concerning me.
We should be. Manly going very well considering the injuries that they've had. So,
they're certainly overachieving for what they've got.
No.
For the crew they've got.
Overachieving?
No.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
No, I think we're just playing to potential, which is what we haven't done for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
All right, well, we just had round 8.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did.
And we just had some interesting results from round 8. There are a few
You say
games.
that every week. There's some interesting results on.
There were.
I'm trying to make it interesting for the viewers in viewerland.
We're interesting.
But there were interesting results.
Not.
I don't know. I'm interesting. I don't know about the rest of you. Yep.
But the reason I say that is because there were some games that people thought were going to be exceedingly close. South Brisbane, Roosters, Tigers, that didn't eventuate.
No one thought those games were going to be close.
How many tips did you get this week?
6.
How many did you get?
6, I think.
I got 3.
I know.
I tipped a couple of roughies and they were roughies.
Yeah,
I tell you. Oh, that was awful.
Thankfully, you got a perfect
See,
round.
I can talk about it when I suck.
3. That's
But
funny.
when I get a perfect round, you don't want to know about it.
I don't want to know it.
No one knows.
I only want to know about it when I get a perfect round.
That one's activity.
Game 1, Steve.
Game 1, which was ANZ Stadium on Thursday night, with South Sydney
That's so long
Rabbitohs
ago. I can't remember.
beat the Broncos 38 points to 6.
Yep.
And everybody thought this was going to be a close, a good... Well, you know, they were. That's what the papers
I
were
thought
saying.
Broncos were going to be competitive. That's why I tipped them.
That's
No.
what he tipped them.
I know.
Really?
Dumb. But anyway, I did.
Yeah.
Wow, so he doesn't only hate Manly, he hates Souths as well.
You've always known that. So let's talk about the game. What did you think of the game, gentlemen?
Couple of things.
Have you got notes?
No.
No.
Okay.
No, they're in here.
Okay.
My mind's like a steel trap.
It never opens. Yeah.
Look, you know what? So this was, as you reminded us last week, Steve, a testimonial farewell to Greg Inglis.
It's a farewell to Greg Inglis, that's right.
I thought that the Souths players doing the goanna after try celebrations was a really fitting tribute. Yeah. Mind you, I hate
the go in too. But the fact they did it for Greg.
How do you
really
hate the
good.
goanna?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's something that's...
Anyway,
But I bet you don't hate Latrell Mitchell's kangaroo.
Oh, that's ace.
Yeah, there you go.
no, I don't like that either. Let me just tell you.
But it was a nice touch.
Yeah. So I thought that was really well done.
Yeah.
Actually, that was a fitting tribute.
And this game was also billed as really, leading up to the match, it was Bennett versus Seabold. There was very little said, which was disappointing as a South supporter, that very little was said until the day of the game, that it is, in recognition of Greg Inglis, but it was really billed as Bennett versus Seabold.
Yeah, but that was just smart by Bennett. That was taking all the pressure off the team,
That's right.
putting it all on him, and really, like, he's a 97-year-old bloke. He doesn't care.
I don't think it's quite 97 yet, but
it was. Look, I mean, yeah, but the lead up to the game was. You're right. It was all Bennett versus Seabold, and Seabold just bit hook, line, and sinker every time somebody threw something at him.
every time.
And Bennett just went, "Who is he again?"
I thought it was classic when he actually said, "I don't know who we're playing next week. I'll have to check my diary."
I like how he goes. I like how when he was asked, "What's it like to be coached by Seabold?" and he goes, "Don't know. Never been coached by him." I thought, yeah.
So, Tom, what did you think of the game?
Oh yeah.
We have to bring it back to common sense. Tom's here.
As you know, there's been a lot been going on in my life, but and I can't remember all the details of this game. I had meant to watch the highlights again, but I can't remember. Lots of tries scored by.
You can come over any time and re-watch it if you want.
No, thanks. Cody Walker, I remember him. Standout.
Yeah.
They said about Cody Walker is he has this uncanny ability to be exactly where the ball's going to be.
Yeah.
He just seems to be able to read the play so amazingly well. And that's an incredibly good trait. So he's on fire.
He's such a good player in a Bennett team. Just unstructured. You just do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
And see how it works out. And it's obviously working out really, really well for him. So
Kyle Turner's been doing really well in the.
I think he's been excellent at
the
the
centre.
centre.
Yeah, surprisingly well. I thought he was a back rower and nothing else, but he's been good.
Yeah,
it's been good in centre.
Indeed.
The halves. Well, they had the new young fellow Tom Dearden.
Yes, he played.
Can I just say that was okay? So we've spoken about South. They were absolutely dominant.
Yeah.
Well, on the flip side of that, the Broncos. When your 18-year-old halfback is the best player in your team in his debut, you got issues.
Sure. I mean, again, Darius Boyd was found out in defence.
Yeah, there were a few times there, especially in Cody Walker's second try, where the ball bounced up almost in front of him, in front of Boyd, and he just didn't grab it.
Yeah, and then he fell over and kind of looked at the ref for a penalty. I'm going, no, that's not the way that the game works.
And he thinks he's travelling pretty well, Darius.
Thinks he's travelling well, so
on 800,000 a season.
Yeah. Well, reported. Let's not go into player prices.
Well, he's on big money for the next 2.5 years.
We'll talk about the Broncos for next week as well, but we hear today that they've already dropped a couple of players. So obviously Seabold has had enough and is looking to make serious.
But I don't
pressures on him to do
in
that.
saying that though, I don't get the spin that Seabold's putting on it though. Oh, we're completing and we're making meters post contact.
He's a stats man. That's the thing.
That doesn't do anything if your team isn't winning.
But I don't think he's under pressure either. I understand it's probably.
But I wonder whether there are voices in his ear giving him suggestions about changing the team, where
maybe
doesn't mean he's necessarily under pressure as a coach.
Yeah.
He might be getting outside noise. Is what I'm saying.
And
can I just?
Well, no, go on.
Can I just mention that I looked all over NRL, the Rabbitohs website. I could not find any vision of Greg Inglis being celebrated. I couldn't see anything. If you can find it, I'd love to see it. There was nothing. There was nothing on TV.
But there was they did that jersey presentation with there was South Mel. I can't remember what there was South Melbourne.
I saw a picture of that. I didn't see.
No,
it didn't come up on the screen.
They were on the ground celebrating, and
that was Thursday night, wasn't it? Was it on Channel 9 or Fox?
Channel 9.
I saw it on Fox.
I saw it on 9.
Well, okay, I missed it. I didn't see it, and I was disappointed because I thought, well, there's a big talk about him being celebrated, and I didn't see any of it.
No, there was, and there were Aboriginal dancers at the beginning. He was introduced to the crowd. There was a whole bunch of stuff that went on.
Okay.
And you know what? For a Thursday night game, there was nearly 15,000 people there, which was good.
It's an absolute bumper crowd.
Well, hang on, it was 7,500 more than you guys got.
Yeah, and we were Thursday night.
That's right. They got their 2 heads, so it doesn't matter. No counting teeth. All right, sorry, my bad.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to 1300 Smiles Stadium, where the North Queensland Cowboys beat Gold Coast Titans 28-14. Again, this was another one that I thought the Titans were started out playing well enough to win.
Come on, the Titans were ripped off. They had 2 tries disallowed.
I think where they jostled for. Where they were pushing each other.
Yep.
I actually think that was fair to disallow the try.
Oh, jeez.
I know what they're saying, that it was the Cowboys player who first pushed, but then the other retaliated, and I think that's it.
Well, the fact that Graham Annesley's come out and said they got both of those decisions wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, but, in saying that, the Titans haven't been playing well. A couple of decisions went against them and they fell apart.
Yeah, and that happens to them a lot. They seem to fall apart when decisions go against them.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
Decisions went against Melbourne and they stayed in the game.
Did they?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Decisions went against South. They stayed in the game.
Manly had 2 legitimate tries disallowed. They stayed in the game.
There you go.
Tamalolo picked up where he left off, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, what a monster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And look, John Asiata doesn't get any reps, but geez, he's a good ball player.
Well, but he's playing. He's a big bloke. Plays prop. Plays 5'8".
Yeah. But I mean, you don't see too many props who play 5'8" like he does.
No,
He's
absolutely
just a great
not.
distributor, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic.
I mean, not that he's a long-term option in the halves, but
Coming off the bench, he's a great option.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic
Yeah.
option.
Not a lot of players are going to cover your forwards and your backs.
No.
No,
Sure.
no, very good. So
Anyway,
do we think that Garth Brennan is in trouble?
geez, he'd have to be, wouldn't he?
yeah,
Well, I mean, we keep saying it every week. He's got to be close. See, I don't think Seibold's in trouble because he signed a 5-year deal this year.
Yeah.
And, the
There's got a
Broncos...
whole heap of young players who are probably going to develop.
Yeah, and the Broncos might have a lot of money, but they're not going to pay a bloke out 5 years of contract or 4 years of contract.
But you know what, Tom? Those same young players were there last year, and under Bennett they've made the 8. They're not looking like they're going to make... And they're not playing the same way they were last year.
Well, some of the talk, and again, I've listened to a lot of talk, is that because Seibold is so much more structured than Bennett, it's going to take a fair bit of time for the whole team to get on board with this structure, and it might take a whole season.
They just...
So that's why I think they're going to be patient with him, I think.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, let's move on to PointsBet Stadium, where the Cronulla Sharks beat Melbourne Storm 20-18.
This was a gutsy win.
It was a great win by Cronulla, considering the players they have out.
Apparently it's virtually half their salary cap.
About $3 million worth of their salary cap.
Know the feeling.
Yeah, for the Roosters that's one player. But
For the rest of us else, it's 5 or 6,
Yeah. But, interestingly enough, there was an incident on the sideline where the winger got up, put his foot, as he was about to play the ball, put his foot in a touch. And I remember from a couple of years ago something happened, and I remember that rule was actually in place.
Yeah,
and when they pulled it up
place
on the other night, I thought they must have changed it.
No,
it's a strange rule to have, though.
Right, and the rule is for those out there listening, is that if you go over on the touchline and you're in play or playing for the ball, then you're out. But if you've actually maintained possession of the ball and you stand up and you're over the touchline, apparently it doesn't matter.
No. Which is an odd rule, but Andrew Voss quoted it, and it's quite clear that you can do that. And the touchy, which was Casey Badger, which is not really good. She's wanting to come up in the ranks.
But even the ref should know it.
The ref didn't pick it up.
Didn't know it.
Cameron Smith didn't know it.
The other ref.
Well, hang on a second.
That was an opportunity missed.
If Cameron Smith didn't know it, it can't be a rule. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe the fact that once the touchline puts their flag up, that's it anyway. But you would have thought that someone would have said, "Hey, no."
No, not even the bunker. No one did. I mean, it was just one of those things. And Cronulla scored off that set.
That's right.
So that really started to put Melbourne on the back foot. However, there was a decision that went against Cronulla a little bit later on, where Melbourne had forced a line dropout, and Josh Dugan jogged all the way over to the corner of the field and picked up a ball to come back. And then all of a sudden he's looked up, he's gone, "Oh, shot clock!" and raced to kick, and he was like, half a second out.
Yep.
And Melbourne get the penalty. And then everyone goes, "Well, why didn't you go to the bucket of balls behind the
There's a
try?"
bucket of balls right there. And the ref said, "There's a bucket of balls right there."
And everybody went, "What is there?"
I never knew there was a bucket of balls at the end of the
Well,
field.
It's funny. In one of the games this week, there was Andrew Voss, who's always funny. They had a kick-off penalty, which is really unusual.
Oh, yeah.
The guys in front of the kicker. And he said, so there's a kick-off penalty, and I think it was Mitchell Moses kicks his penalty in front of the centre line. So here we go.
And that happens a few times where they've done that, and then they take the penalty kick in front of the line.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So you're saying what a mockery. You're making a mockery of the whole rule.
Yeah, it is a bit of a joke.
So do we want to read anything into the argument between Cameron Smith and Cameron Munster at the end of the... I mean, it was a strange end of the game.
Yeah.
Cameron Munster, I think everyone thought it was going to at least put a kick up and do something.
Yeah, he got caught with the ball.
But he got caught with the ball.
Yeah.
Do we read anything into that?
Smith had a bit of a wry smile. I think, I don't think there was much in his response, but I think Munster was just incredibly frustrated, and that's just I think it's probably his inexperience. There's a difference between a a mature guy just going, "What were you doing?"
Yeah.
The game's over. It's too late anyway. And Munster just being frustrated with himself and kicking the ball out, and yeah.
I mean, a lot of reports over the week
Oh,
You know what?
talked about it, but you know.
I don't think I think you'd be hard pressed to go through any club and say and have there's no conflict between one of the top 17 players and someone else.
yeah, sure.
You know, I mean, and certainly I know from my club experience that apparently the Watmos and the Stewarts hated Cherry Evans, and there was big blow ups every week, but they won 2 comps.
Yeah.
It's not about who you get along with; it's about how you play the game.
Yeah.
And they're both professionals.
And the comments were made that, you know what, quite often people bag out players because once the whistle goes, they all kiss and cuddle and laugh with each other. And they said, it's refreshing to see players who are disappointed that they lost and angry that they lost.
Might play
I've got-
kiss and cuddle.
I've got something to say
they
about that a
do.
little bit later on with
do?
another club. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't read anything into it. There was nothing there. It was, perhaps they don't get on, like best mates, but who said they have to be best mates?
Yeah. Nice.
They have to play and be a team, and they are.
Sally, our Melbourne supporter who
Expert.
lives in Melbourne,
We'll call it our
was
rugby
the
league
only
expert from
person-
Victoria.
She was the only person in the tipping comp who actually tipped the Sharks.
I'm
So
in.
she knows something's going on down there.
I'm in another comp, just so you know. With there's 47 people. No one picked the Sharks.
No.
Right.
And
No one.
Well,
I mean, and this is it's a high stakes. That's a high stakes comp. That
I'm
one.
in 2, and again, Sally's the only one who picked one.
Yeah.
She's the only one I know, and she's a Melbourne supporter.
Yep. So you know,
Hats off to our
So
Victorian
Sally,
expert.
Sally, you need to give us the inside gossip on what's
Yeah, are they going to win this week?
Yeah.
Anyway, continuing
Good
on.
performance by the Sharks. They continue
Yeah,
to
it was
surprise. Britton Nakora again, another fantastic game. He's a real talent.
Absolutely.
Okay, McDonald's Park, where Canberra Raiders beat Penrith Panthers 30-12.
And I tipped the Panthers.
So you
What
tipped
a-
you got a really good
stupid
week.
is that? I thought this is their last chance, and it is their last chance because I don't think we're tipping them again.
Didn't you say that last week?
Yeah, probably. But
They're going to
but
say it next
I
week.
just had a feeling that with Leilua and Rapana out,
Yeah.
the Panthers couldn't be that
And
bad
Bateman.
again. Well, Bateman
Bateman
wasn't out
was
until the
in
game.
it, yeah.
He
Yeah.
started the game.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Injured this week.
But I tell you what, Canberra are playing well.
Yep.
Canberra are playing exceptionally well.
Takes a
and,
very good team to beat them.
Jack White.
and who would that be?
That would be Manly.
Jack Whiten's having a blinder of
Yeah.
5'8", isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I know, I didn't think he was a fiver. I thought that was a really odd move.
Yeah, he's terrific.
He's playing well.
Sorry, Ricky. You got me.
Mind you,
He's Ricky Stewart. You're a better coach than me.
and Ricky watches too.
Absolutely.
So he'll know you said that. I was going to say something now.
I threw you, don't worry.
You
I'm
threw
sorry.
me, yeah, exactly.
Lots of injuries in that game. I don't know what's going on. I don't think.
There's a lots of injuries.
Well, there were lots of there were injuries in the Titans game. They were down. Michael Gordon injured in the first 3 minutes, and then I forget who their second injury was towards the end of the match. Villamani Kikau,
Yes.
Bateman.
Yeah.
It's
Zaio's gone.
Zaio's gone for
probably
the season.
with the
Actually, I
shoulder.
heard Phil Gould saying he actually injured that shoulder 3 years ago,
Right.
and then played the rest of the season. It didn't bother him, so he didn't get surgery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then played last year, didn't get hit, didn't bother him. This year, second injury on the shoulder, and now it's gone.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's important to their team, and so is Kick Out.
Yeah,
So, gentlemen, where are Penrith now? Done for the year?
yeah.
Yeah.
Then they can come back?
I thought they were gone earlier on, and I'm convinced of it now.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on over there. And if you look at that team, you go, "Wow, there's a bit of potential there."
Sure.
But
Something's just not clicking there. Their heads aren't right because there's not ability. It's just
No.
something's not happening. And look, and it coincides, whether you read anything into it or not, with a brand new coach after some drama, and a brand new coach who was doing pretty well at the Tigers. He was the saviour, and he's come in there and they've gone worse.
Yep.
And they quoted that Anthony Griffin at this point in time they were 4-4, I think,
And that was a bad start for them.
Yep.
Yeah, 4-4 was a bad
And he
start.
got sacked.
Yep.
So
All right, Lotto Land, where the Manly Sea Eagles beat Canterbury Bulldogs 18-10, and I've got to tell you, I think you just got out of jail.
Come on. What do you mean?
I think you got out of jail.
Come on. What do you mean? We lost.
I think
we
you
lost.
got out of jail.
We lost another halfback.
Yep.
We lost Adam Fanoa Blake.
Yeah.
Marty Tapau may or may not be playing again this
It's
week.
a knee injury on that paddock, that sandcastle that he says is nothing.
Hang on. Who got a knee injury?
Garrick, didn't he? Sorry,
No.
Lachlan Croker?
No, it was his hamstring. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
You can do a hamstring on bad surfaces.
You can do them on good surfaces too.
You can,
Okay, I stand corrected.
Yes, thank you.
but it's still a bad surface.
It is
It's
not
still
a
the
bad
same
surface. Anyway, Manly had 2 tries disallowed. Ruben Garrick became the 3rd player in NRL history to score all of his team's points in a win.
Yep.
Um,
You know what this game reminded me of? This game reminded me of the South and Canterbury game, where South always looked on top, always seemed to be in control, but Canterbury just wouldn't let them go.
yeah.
You know, South had a couple of tries this lad, but Canterbury just kept hanging in there and hanging in there and hanging in there to the end. And I tell you what, it was only right in the last 5 minutes that I thought Manly were going to get away and win it. When you kick that last penalty goal.
I'm interested to see what happens with the Dogs when Kieran Foran gets back. So I'm not taking any of the gloss off Manly winning, but that Dogs team, they're just lacking that little bit of experience at the last tackle option. That little bit of real hard edge, and Kieran Foran's going to come back into that team, and they're competitive, and I wouldn't be surprised if when he comes back they actually start knocking over some teams.
Well, I've said for a few weeks now that I don't think they deserve to be where they are. It's just the fact that they had 2 really bad first games where they lost a lot of points.
Yeah.
If it was not for that, they'd probably be 12th or 13th, and that would be probably a truer reflection of how they're playing.
There's a lot of heart in the team.
Oh yeah.
Do you think they're now regretting letting go some of the Clemmers, some of those players?
But they had to for the salary cap. They just had to let them go. I mean,
They didn't have to
otherwise
let
they'd
them
have to let 4 other low quality
Yeah,
players.
but they let the Morrises go already.
They probably thought that the Morrises were probably nearing the end of their best. So
Yeah, but
that's been
And they are,
proven
but
to be wrong.
Clemmers not.
Well, Brett Morris hasn't had a chance to show us what he can do because he's going to be back next week.
Where are you going to blame?
He'll take the winger spot with the
Anyway.
others, but
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, just talking on that, I think that both of those teams are still playing 80 minutes. They're probably with Canberra the only teams that are playing full 80-minute football, and I think that it shows because they're in every game.
Yeah, you got to give them that. They don't give up.
Manly, the Dogs, and Canberra, I think, are the most consistent teams. Not the most skillful teams, not the biggest teams, not the best teams, but just the most consistent. And I think that's going to stand them in good stead.
Yeah, and look, I got to say I'm impressed with the way Manly are playing.
Yeah,
Of course.
and the difference that Des has made, incredible.
Yes.
In Des we trust.
All right, let's go to the Sydney Cricket Ground where the Roosters beat the Tigers 42-12. And you've got to admit, everybody was thinking this was going to be a lot closer game than 42-12.
Yeah, I thought so.
I didn't.
You thought it was going to be a blowout?
Yeah. I have no faith at all in the West Tigers. They have, not taking anything away from the Roosters, and Latrell Mitchell still doesn't look like he's, involved in everything and was the most superior player on the field. But the West Tigers have got nothing. No.
Well, Michael Maguire's watching this, so be careful what you say.
Michael Maguire, what are you going to do? Because there's no creativity. There's no, I'm a fan of Moses Mbai, but geez, he's not returning the ball. He's not supporting.
He was better at the Dogs.
Yeah, and I tell you what, they need to take him at a fullback because I think.
Well, where are you going to play him?
I'd either play him off the bench or play him as half.
You can't play. Look, I mean, they paid a lot of money for him.
But they got 3 halves already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'd bring him in off the bench somewhere.
I don't think you can bench a player on on one of your top players like that. But I just don't know where they're going to play him, and they're just not clicking.
Yeah.
And it's they come out for 10 minutes and they looked good for the first 10 minutes, and I thought, oh, I could be in for an upset here. That'd be interesting.
Well, we're going to have a talk in a little while about who we think the best players are, and there's been a lot of reports at the moment about Latrell Mitchell being the number one player in the NRL. I'm hesitant to say Mitchell is because I don't think he had a great game the other night,
sure.
but he doesn't do that every week.
No.
And I don't think a player can do that every week, but he had an exceptional game though.
Well, there's been a lot of press about him this week after that performance. Yeah. He's going to Souths and he's not happy, etc., etc., etc. He's breaking with his manager, all kinds of things. Some of that's slightly true, and a lot of it's not. Again, from further reports. Yeah. So I don't know what is and what isn't. But what he does say is that he wants to get more involved with taking the ball out of the backfield. He says that's something that he needs to improve in his game, and that's right. He doesn't do that at all. He waits for his moment and then he does something sensational. Yeah. But to be a complete player, he wants to do, and he didn't say like Greg Inglis, but I think that's what he's hinting at. Yeah. As Inglis takes the ball back from fullback, he wants to have that kind of impact as well.
And a lot of people are saying he should be 5'8". He shouldn't be 5'8". He could be a very good fullback.
Yes.
I think he could be an excellent fullback because he has that ability to break a line, which is, when you look at South's play, compare Greg Inglis with Alex Johnson. And Alex Johnson, I think, is a good player, but he doesn't bring the ball back and make the breaks that Greg Inglis can do.
He doesn't.
I think Latrell Mitchell. That's right. Latrell Mitchell.
Yeah, but we've got the world's best fullback already. We don't need one. So. No, he's going to argue with that.
No. I'm just thinking.
You got the world's best everything at the moment.
I just think you're both wrong. I don't think.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Surprisingly, I don't think Latrell Mitchell is anything else other than a centre right now. He's not.
Well, I agree with you.
He's not fit enough. He's not fast enough. He's not big enough. And don't get me wrong. He could be there. But at fullback, you've got to be everywhere all the time and organising the defence.
He looks unfit to me.
No. In saying that, but that means that, see, and this is why I always thought Greg Inglis was a better centre than a fullback. He didn't have the same impact at fullback as he did at centre, because at centre he could choose when to come in and out of games. If Latrell Mitchell, if he wants to bring the ball back, let him bring the ball back. Give him the opportunity to do that. But at fullback, you have to. There is no opportunity to take a breather, to pick your time and your place and your opportunity. You just have to be there. So I'm thinking at the moment, he's a centre.
Well, I think the Roosters think he's a centre too, but he's made rumblings about I want to be 5'8", and they're thinking that maybe they're going to have to re-sign him as a 5'8" in order to keep him.
Look, he's not going to go anywhere. I can tell you now, as much as I think South would want him and Manly would want him, there are 10 clubs that would line up to
absolutely
bid for him. And there are a lot of clubs that would offer him a hell of a lot more money than South will. I don't believe he'll go anywhere. I think he'll stay at the Roosters.
Yep. Well, when you look at what they've done for him and how they've developed him, and just little things like letting him go home to Taree, all that sort of stuff.
We developed Angus Crichton as well, and you stole him anyway. So
well, that was his choice. That was his choice.
Yeah, sorry viewers out there. No, I'm sick of listening about Latrell Mitchell and the Roosters as well.
Anyway, could I just mention Daniel Tupou?
Next game.
Daniel Tupou is unsung hero, 286 metres. He just does his job. He's actually sort of really replaced Blake Ferguson in that regard. He's just running the ball up, he's doing his work, and nobody's noticing, but I think he deserves a few plaudits for that.
All right. Mount Smart Stadium, where Newcastle Knights beat the Warriors 36-18.
Won't be tipping the Warriors anymore.
Warriors came back into this one. It got to 18 all, and I honestly thought at that point the Warriors were going to run away, and then they fell asleep.
I can't get onto your internet here. Can you just bring up the player stats and see how many run meters Roger Tuivasa-Sheck had?
What would they do without
96. Wow, that's not many.
That's nothing for him.
No, it's not. No. But you know what? Take Roger out of that team.
Yep.
And
they've got nothing.
They've got nothing.
Yep.
Absolutely nothing.
And I thought Nicaragua was going to play this.
No. They said he wasn't going to play. Is he going to make a difference to them?
Nope.
Oh, apparently he's got a calf injury.
That's right.
If it's to be believed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing's going to save the Warriors.
No.
Because, you mentioned something before, it's better than teams just all, having a hug. The Warriors, what's the go with them? So, at the end of the game, they're not upset. They're not cut if they lost. Close one, blowout, doesn't matter. They stand around and, do all their deep breathing exercises and, show some
passion.
fight.
Passion. Yeah.
Show some fight. When I think of the Polynesian players, which are in the comp, you get these big, aggressive, hard-running forwards, and they're ready to rip your arms off while you're playing, and then afterwards have a drink with you. These guys just kind of, I don't get it.
Yeah.
They don't. Something's wrong there. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's trying to be too philosophical with the team.
Yeah.
And just trying to get in their head too much. Just let them get angry about losing and missing. There's something there.
I think they're going to walk about in their heads. Seriously,
Possibly.
I think that's what happens.
Possibly.
You talked about that David Clement before, 207 metres.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Stand out.
He is a standout.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure.
Mitchell Pearce had a great game.
He's had two good games now.
Yeah. He's coming back into it.
Ponga's really settling back into fullback.
Fullback, yep.
So glad.
Shows that's where he's supposed to be.
Almost certainly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
All right, let's move on to the last game of the round, which was Bankwest Stadium, where the Parramatta Eels beat the St George Illawarra Dragons 32-18.
I picked this one wrong.
So did I.
I went the Dragons.
I went the Eels.
I tell you what, I can't believe that that Parramatta won this one. You said to me a couple of weeks ago, Brian, that Parramatta have beaten no one of note yet.
Well, they have now. They've beaten one team.
Well, okay, but they've beaten a team now of note.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I thought it was a good performance by them. I think there's a lot of belief there and sticking it out because I think the Dragons scored first. It was a fairly even score. It was backwards and forwards, but I thought there was a lot of belief in the Parramatta team, and I think they just kept sticking in the grind.
Which, interestingly enough, wasn't there the week before when they played Newcastle at Newcastle.
Yeah.
But was there the week before when they played the Tigers at Parramatta.
I'm concerned that stadium might give them a bit of an advantage.
But look, it's terrific atmosphere. Great to watch on TV. I'd love to be there. I look forward to. We play the Tigers, I think, the 5th of July. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I think the Eels are rejuvenated. It's about time they did something with Clint Gutherson. Seriously, they have to.
Get it organised.
Yeah, let him go. Let him go.
$50,000 if you believe it.
Yeah.
But Clint Gutherson's come out and said, oh, they insulted me. Then he's come out and said, oh, no, it's a manager blow up. I haven't spoken to Manly. I have spoken to Manly. I wanted this much money, and
It sound like sour grapes to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone who's been watching and following this show, when Clint Gutherson signed with Parramatta, I was dirty. I'm still dirty.
Is he a Manly Junior?
Yeah. He's from Freshwater.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So look, all I'm saying is that Clint Gutherson, Parramatta would be mad to let him go, because
they should have locked him up weeks ago.
Regardless of the fact that he wants more money than they're willing to pay. What they've got to look at is, if we get rid of Clint Gutherson, who are we going to buy that's going to be anywhere near that good?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And let me just tell you, I don't think there is anyone.
And not only that, other players that you might want to come and play with players like Clint Gutherson.
Yeah. I didn't like his post-try celebration either, just so you know.
What was
it? Didn't you see it? No. I'm not dancing in front of the camera.
Mind you, Blake Ferguson's was excellent.
I'm not doing a backflip in front of the camera either.
When Blake is on, they're much better too.
Actually, he's the big difference in that Parramatta team.
Absolutely.
You said last week against Newcastle, they weren't in it. Blake Ferguson didn't play. Yeah. He's had his two most significant games against the Tigers and against the Dragons.
And Semi Sevo.
Yeah, he's good. Reid Mahoney.
Call him Semi Sevo.
Semi Sevo.
Because he just runs like Semi.
Reid Mahoney's
He's
very
been
good.
Back there, hasn't he?
Reid Mahoney's another one the dogs let go. Reid Mahoney, outside chance for a Queensland Origin jersey.
Yeah, because they need a hooker.
They need a hooker.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
McCulloch's gone down now with an ACL or an MCL.
Yeah.
There was a big injury, wasn't there? Is it Dragons?
Yes.
Tarek Sims, not Tarek Sims. I know there was the eye injury with Tyson Frizzell.
Corey Norman.
Corey Norman.
Yeah, broken cheekbone.
Sorry, Tyson Frizzell came off. Actually, that's something we should probably discuss too. In that game, Tyson Frizzell copped an errant finger near the eye, and the Dragons took him off as an HIA.
Yeah, I heard that.
Come on, really?
Yeah, but that's now happening every game.
Yeah,
but that was. Down with
but I smoked when I heard that too.
But that was a bit too much. I mean, if they're in a tackle and there's a collision, and maybe you can get away with it.
Yeah.
But it was a hang
the
on.
argument was he got hit in the head.
Player.
Oh yeah, with the finger in the.
I get it.
Please.
Yeah. But it is being abused by a number of teams.
And apparently he's got some problem with his eyes, a scratch on his eye or something like that from a hand.
That's painful. I've had that.
Let me tell you, his last injury was more painful.
That's brought more water to his eyes.
Corey Norman out for a few weeks with a fractured cheekbone, so that's going to be a huge hole.
Massive.
They're going to bring in Jai Field, I think.
He's quick.
Yeah.
If you can get Jai Field and who's their fullback? I've forgotten.
Duffy
together.
So how was that try too? That was a really good try.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of chancy stuff, but they took their opportunities and.
But they had to be in position to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a terrific try.
That was excellent.
Very good.
But I was surprised, but anyway, we go on to next week. Okay, ladder, please.
Yes. Okay, first position, the Roosters on for and against. The Rabbitohs in second on equal premiership points, but lower for and against. The Raiders in third. The Storm make up the four. They're still there. The Eels are in fifth. The Sea Eagles are in sixth. Let's give you a moment to take that in. The Sharks are in seven, and the Dragons in eight. The West Tigers again for a second week in a row, I think, sit outside the eight. The Knights in 10, the Cowboys in 11, the Warriors in 12, the Broncos in 13, Titans in 14, the Panthers second last, and the Bulldogs still, I think, undeservedly sitting in last place.
Now, my question is, that's the ladder.
Yes, it is.
All right. Are there any teams that you think will not be able to make the eight? Now, we're talking we're 8 rounds in now.
Canterbury won't make the eight.
Panthers, I don't think will make it.
Yep.
Titans won't make it.
Yep.
Warriors won't make it.
Yep.
Worried about the
I don't think
Broncos.
North Queensland will make it.
They could, though.
They could.
Well, anyone could.
Well, you've got to think about who's above them. That's the thing is, the eight teams that are in the eight now, they're going to be hard to beat out of the eight. So, but look, the Broncos, the way they're playing, if they don't win the next couple of games, I think they're finished.
Yeah. Look, I think Penrith have the potential to turn it on, and if they get it right, they can make the eight. I think the Broncos can make the eight if they turn it around. But teams like Canterbury, Titans, Warriors, I don't think can. Newcastle could still make it.
West Tigers,
I think can still make it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're saying
some teams in the top eight that are overperforming at the moment that I think will switch.
And it'd be interesting to see in the top eight who's played the top teams and who's played the lower teams as well. And I think there's been comment about that, but the Roosters, for instance, have played a lot of the top teams.
Yeah, I'm very pleased to say that my team's played. The top 3 teams have beaten 2 of them.
Right.
Yeah, thanks for that. Well, I mean, you look at South. They've played the Roosters and beaten them. They have played Manly and lost to them. They've played St George and beaten them. That's all. Only 3 of the top 8 South have played.
Yeah. So again, that's not reflective of the actual ladder. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out over the next. And then we've got Origin. We're going to lose a lot of players to Origin. It would appear. And that's going to put a big hole in things for us. Plus, we've got injuries, long-term injuries.
I know that was a question. I know that was just thrown it out there, but my apologies.
Okay. Okay. Just very quickly, today's paper there was an article that talked about who the best player in the NRL is today. This was in the Daily Telegraph. For those of you who don't know, who the best player in the NRL is today. Each of the reporters got an opportunity to list 5. We're not going to do that.
Yep.
1 or 2. Gentlemen, who do you think is your best players going around today?
Well, I don't think you win games without forwards, and I think probably 2 or 3 of the best are Clemmer and Burgess, and I'll be a little bit biased and say Adam Fanoa-Blake, but he's only played 3 games this year.
Okay. Tom?
I think Tedesco is still... He's still not reached last year's potential, but I think he's still I think the best game. Kiri second. Now I'm biased, obviously, and you could throw in Smith, you can throw in Burgess, but I think that at the moment we're on the top of the ladder because of players like Kiri and Tedesco.
I'd actually go Kiri and I'd go Burgess.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Clemmer is a very, very close second.
And you've got to throw Cody Walker in there. He's been sensational too.
Oh, most certainly.
So I if I had a 5, I'd probably go Kiri, Tedesco, Burgess,
We weren't doing 5.
Walker. But I'm
No, he's doing 5.
He's got
Okay,
5.
so how about we get everyone to go onto the Facebook page, NRL from the Sidelines, and just tell us who you think is the best player at the moment in the NRL. 2, 3, 5, whichever you want to put down. Just tell us who you think is your best player in the NRL.
Yep.
And see if you agree with us or
Well,
not.
I think it's a matter of who would make a difference if they were playing at another club.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And I think and that's.
But
that's
I think you Walker. I think Mitchell.
uh,
I think all those players we mentioned.
see, that's why I'm not convinced about Cody Walker. I think he's really fitting in right now in the bunny structure with Bennett, but I don't know if you take him out of that and
He's
put him
playing well
somewhere
before,
else.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have put him in your top 5.
So for that reason, you wouldn't put him in Origin.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Look, I'm not sure.
Anyway,
Origin's a different beast altogether.
Oh, sure.
I'm not sure about that.
You
Okay, we need to move on.
Yes.
We need to move on to round 9 of the NRL, and Thursday night, Suncorp Stadium, Titans against the Sharks.
And this is the...
Magic round.
Magic
Round.
round.
And for
Everyone's
those who don't
playing at
understand what
Suncorp.
Magic Round is...
Everyone's playing at Suncorp. He's already said it.
Sorry, I missed that.
So this whole competition, this whole weekend is going to be played at Suncorp. I have concerns of the
And I was
ground.
about to say, it sucks if you're playing on Sunday.
I was going to
Both of our
say,
teams are.
yeah, there's a lot of injuries happening at Suncorp.
I know, and I really have concerns about the ground. But anyway, we'll talk about that. So the first game in Magic Round is at I was going to say it's at Suncorp.
At Magic Round at Suncorp Stadium.
7:50. And let's move on. Titans against the Sharks. Gentlemen, who's going to win?
Sharks.
You'd have to say the Sharks on the current form.
Yeah. I can't see. I think the Titans can make a show of it for the first half, which is what they've been doing, but I think the Sharks will persist
This is the margin round,
Round.
so how much are they going to win by?
Oh,
I think 7 or
10.
8.
I think the Sharks will win by plenty.
10, I reckon 10.
Okay. Let's move on to Friday's game. West Tigers against Penrith Panthers.
Yes.
Tigers will bounce back.
Tigers will bounce back.
Ooh, Battle of the Cats. Where's this at?
Suncorp. It's Magic Round at Suncorp.
He's so annoying, isn't he?
Do I really have to pick?
Yes.
Yes, Splinters.
Tigers?
Really?
Jeez, that was with confidence.
I'm actually going to say Panthers. I think the Panthers will bounce back. In
Yeah, I
this.
made that mistake last week.
I think there's two things that are stopping me from picking the Panthers. James Maloney has his hearing today and could be out. No James Maloney, the Panthers aren't going to win, and I don't think they can win without kick out.
And Yo.
And Low and Yo.
He's pretty
Low.
good too.
Oh.
Yo.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, we go to same night. It's Manly Seagulls against the Brisbane Broncos.
At
Suncorp Stadium.
Manly home game.
Yeah,
Well, you've got a
probably.
good record against the Broncos in Queensland.
We have a very good record against the Broncos in Queensland. I have some concerns with the fact that we're now down to playing Happy Coruscant at 5'8".
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who you might
got no one
lose,
else.
by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
And Fanua Blake's out, isn't he?
Yes, according to the team list, Fanua Blake is out.
Right.
So, yeah.
You just wonder how far down you can go and still win.
I know. It's starting to look pretty bad. Like I said, if you start playing your, even last year mentioned as Origin hooker at 5'8" because you've run out of options,
Yeah.
you're
I tell you,
in
if the
trouble.
Broncos lose this one against such a depleted Seagulls team, they'll be right.
And at home. No,
That'll be right.
I'm backing the Broncos for this.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll give you a reason why not to pick the Broncos. Darius Boyd, Anthony Milford, Shibaski, who got put in ahead of who's their goalkeeping
Mansell
winger that you
playing.
love? The goalkeeping winger that you love from Brisbane.
Oh, Sarko.
Asako's out.
Shabasky?
Yeah,
Okay.
in fact, he's the new superstar, potential superstar.
Yeah.
Souths are actually looking at him we're looking at him to replace Greg.
And he blames me for taking all good players.
Yep.
Right.
Excuse me, who are the Roosters planning on signing
hang on.
today?
Excuse me.
Who?
So you've got Darius Boyd, who's out of form. You've got Anthony Milford, who's out of form. You've got Tom Dearden, the 18-year-old, playing his second game, and their hooker is Jake Turpin. Now, if you reckon our spine looks bad, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm
Michael Leica.
Oh, yeah, I heard that, yeah.
that's right.
Backup for Jake Friend.
Just as a backup. Just as a backup. He'll be on nothing. Don't worry. He'll be part of the sombrero.
You have a shot at me because we're looking at an unnamed, untried
Winger.
18-year-old.
Winger. Yeah.
I don't like the idea of going for Leica because I don't think he's got much.
I don't know how you can fit him under the cap.
He'll get 50, 100,000.
He'll play for nothing to play at the Roosters.
Well, a lot of people.
Here's a paper bag for you.
Thank you. Oh, I'm playing for the Roosters.
Yeah, they'll play for a paper bag.
I don't
Empty
know.
paper bag.
I think that Seabold has dropped some players. I think this will turn around for them.
I don't think it will.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to Suncorp Stadium.
So you're going Broncos. You're going Broncos.
I'm still sitting on the fence.
Yeah, you're a hater. You'll go Broncos.
Canterbury Bulldogs on Saturday afternoon against Newcastle Knights. Can Canterbury win this one?
No, it's a buoyant.
Yeah, away from home, I'm going to go the Dogs.
Yeah. Tom?
I think the Dogs will play as they have every week, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying the Dogs now.
Okay.
Can't be convinced that I'll actually tip them, but I'm saying the Dogs now.
I'm struggling with this one. I'm leaning to the Dogs, but I can't say for sure at this stage. 5:30 on Saturday afternoon. Warriors against George.
I'm not picking the Warriors.
No, go the Dragons.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Well, actually, injuries now are going to cruel George.
Yeah,
No.
but I think...
I'm not picking the Warriors.
You're not picking them. You're
Not
definitely
picking them.
not picking them.
That's
at
it.
all.
Now we do have a listener. I can't remember who it is who follows the Warriors.
Yep.
Can't remember. Sorry, can't remember your name. I am not picking the Warriors again this year. They've done round 9. I think I've picked them 7 or 8 times. I am not picking them again.
Okay. Then Melbourne Storm against the Parramatta Eels.
I give the Eels a real chance in this game.
So do I.
I'll be tipping the Eels.
So do I.
Be interesting to see what the team list is for the Storm, whether he's actually, whether Bellamy's actually lived
I
out
don't
his
think he's
threat.
going to make too many changes. I can't imagine him make too many.
Well, maybe they're on their last chance. I don't know. Yeah.
Mind you, Villavalu's not playing well.
No.
He's
No.
made some
And
horrible errors.
he does some dirty things. I mean, I think it's just immaturity.
He looks disinterested at the moment.
Yeah.
I must admit. There are a
But
couple of...
he just does some niggly things, and I think it's just immaturity. Honestly,
All right, let's go to Sunday where Suncorp Stadium.
this will be the game of the round. You can't deny this.
It's a very good game.
This will be the game of the round.
Sydney, sorry?
Where are we at?
Sydney Roosters at Suncorp.
Suncorp, right?
Suncorp, where the Sydney Roosters are playing in front of the home crowd against the Canberra Raiders.
Get a better crowd than we do at home.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll actually have someone cheering.
This is a
for
danger
us.
game for the Roosters, no doubt. The Raiders
Yeah, I
are
think
flying.
so too.
The Raiders are flying. This will really test the Roosters, and it'll also tell the Raiders where they're at. This should be a really entertaining game.
I'm leaning to the Roosters in this one.
I think the Roosters can win it, but I think they'll have to work hard.
But you know what the difference is with Bateman out of Canberra?
Yeah.
That's going to be a huge
I think
loss.
Rapana's still out. Maybe Lelua might be back.
Yeah.
Rapana is listed as playing.
Is he? Okay. Well, that'll be a huge benefit. Their defence has been really spot on this week.
You know what?
Couple of games.
I'm going to, only for the second time this year, Tom, I'm going to back against the Roosters.
Back against the Roosters.
Yeah. No, not hater.
It's all right.
Not hater. I just think
it's one playing 3,
No,
so
just giving you.
yeah. No, I think the Raiders been playing 80-minute football, and I can't see that changing.
Oh, look, I don't think a loss would hurt us. Honestly, I mean we're
I think
plenty
so.
in the bank, so
Yeah.
maybe it might
and the difference is you've won what 7 in a row now
and not played well.
and not played well. You can't keep winning and not playing
Well,
well. You can't keep.
People
winning
say
anyway.
that. I mean, it's probably possible, but is it good for the team? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'll take a win.
I know that in
Yeah, I know you
2016 the Sharks won 15 in a row.
Yeah.
Then they went on a losing streak for a couple,
Yeah.
and they needed that to kick them back into the
That's
finals.
Okay, last game of the round, and again, I worry about the surface at this point after it's had 7 games on it in 3 days.
Sure.
So that's in your Rabbitohs against the North Queensland
There'll
Cowboys.
be nobody left by that time.
They'll all be there on
They'll all
Saturday,
fly home,
Saturday
won't
afternoon.
Yeah, they'll be. Oh, rice will be falling out of their heads.
Mind you, they're probably going to be drunk as well.
Can I just say,
A few too many.
this will be a walkover.
A walker over.
Yeah,
To the Bunnies.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I am quite confident about at least 4 of these games, and that is one of them. The Cowboys were lucky to beat the Titans.
And now they've lost. Who did they lose?
Who?
No, I'm thinking the Broncos. Sorry, the Broncos lost McCulloch, didn't they?
Well, Josh Maguire's out of the Cowboys team too.
Josh Maguire's, yeah.
Right.
So I just can't see it. I can't see how Souths will lose this.
Sure.
They were quite high last week in beating Brisbane, and I just think they're going to keep going now.
And it's also Bennett's first trip back to Suncorp while he's representing the Bunnies.
Well, then I hope some of the crowd boo him because that'll buoy on the team, hopefully.
They will, and you guys will win.
Yeah.
By 30.
It should be interesting seeing what the Magic Round, what the atmosphere is like having. It'd be like sort of the grand final where you get a lot of people coming from different clubs to watch. So I'm sorry we're not there. It would
So
be
did you
great
just say we're going to win by 30?
Hmm.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
The Sharks will win by plenty. I think the game of the Cats will be hard. Manly will do well.
Yeah, to throw that in.
Yeah, oh, we've already
All right.
got this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Look, that brings us to a close. Gentlemen, you got anything intelligent you want to add before we close
Who
up the
says
show?
that?
I know, and every time I say something, he harasses me.
Yeah.
Because I asked for intelligence.
I think it'll
So-
be a great round. Magic round. It'll be
Are you
terrific.
going to give me something intelligent?
I'm not going to open my mouth.
You just did.
Yeah. And in fact, that's probably the most intelligent thing you could say.
What about
Alright.
you, Stephen? Have you got something?
No, I've been talking the whole show, so I've got nothing.
No, it should be a great round. And we should get together and watch some games. hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Look, thank you all for watching. This is NRL from the Sidelines with Tom, Brian, and Steve, and we'll do it all again next week. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
See ya.